Lecture 26, right? So sorry, it is December 23rd. I need to fix that. Just a minute. Do you guys hear some noise in the background? Some kind of drilling noise?
Sir, it is very faint.
So that I can move to a different room and maybe
it is there, but very faint.
Very faint. Is it?
Yes, sir.
Let me see. Yeah. Yes, 26. I shall actually move to a different room. Okay. Yes. So the sound should be a little more muted now. So can I start? Okay, so in the previous class we looked at some we have till now looked at several data structures, stacks, queues, and then trees, importantly. Okay, and we'll still be looking at trees, a special kind of trees in this class. But before that, why do we need to do that? Okay, we need to do that because we want to implement what is called an abstract data type. ADT means abstract data type. Okay, the particular abstract data type that we want to implement is set. We already seen examples of ADTs, stack, queue, etc. was ADTs, and we saw in the case of queues that you have two different implementations. One where you could just implement a queue as just a list. The other where you can implement a queue as a pair of lists, right? Okay. So now with sets also you have the same kind of choice with you, and these binary trees that we introduced earlier will play a part in this. What is it that you want to do with the set ADT? You want to maintain a collection of distinct elements, yeah, and support the following operations. In the case of stack, the operations were pop and push. In the case of queues, the operations were NQ and DQ, and there was no requirement of distinctness. Here you want to maintain a set. Each element in the set is distinct, right? You cannot have two copies of the same element in a set. Okay, so you maintain a collection of distinct elements, and what all can you do with the set? You can insert an element into the set. You can delete an element from the set. You can search if an element belongs to the set. Okay, so these are the three things. Insert. You can either insert into the set, or delete from a set, or search a set for the presence of a given element. Okay, so the thing is, in the case of stack, you just pop means there is a designated element that you remove. In the case of queue, if you say DQ, there is a designated element that you remove, namely the element at the front. And when you say insert, when you say NQ or push, there is a designated position in which you place the element. Okay, now you don't care about where you place the element, etc. When you insert, you just want to put the element into the set. When you want to delete, you want to specify which element to delete. Okay, there is no special position in a set. Okay, I mean, your implementation might be a list or whatever, and there will be a special position, but that doesn't mean that the set abstract data type itself doesn't care about that. So you just want to support insertion, deletion, and search. Okay, okay, And if you want to do that, you can have a most straightforward implementation would be to implement a set as a list. Okay, so let's just install all these definitions. Let me go here, module set. I want to export the type constructor, the insert operation, the delete operation, and the search operation. I'll call it search. Search operation. Okay. Where again recall that the set here in orange is the type constructor, the set here in whatever color that is. What color is it? I'm bad with color names. Whatever color it is, that is the value constructor. Okay, and you can just say deriving EQ, EQ show. Okay, so how do you insert into a set? Insert into of a arrow yes, but remember that when I want to insert, I want to maintain uniqueness of each element. So if the element is already present, I shouldn't actually insert this element into the set. So which means I need a type constraint. What is the type constraint I should put? I need to be able to check whether the element is already present. For that, what type constraint? EQ, right? EQA implies A to set A to set A. Okay, great. So now what do you do? Insert into of X into set X's equals, I'll just put the value constructor. What should you put in the list here? What is the list that you are looking for? I mean, I'll do the simplest thing of just putting X in the front, but I need to do something before that.
So we have to check if it already exists in Excel.
Yes, so I'll say if yeah, this is fine, right? So I'll check if what is there? Yes, so is the code clear? So I'll put a set, and this is nice because Haskell everything is an expression. So this is an expression of type list A. So therefore you can put the set construction on top of it. Okay, set constructor on top of it. Okay, if X is an element of X's, then X's, otherwise X colon X's. Okay, great. What about delete from? Again EQA. Okay, delete from X, set X's. What do I do now?
If the element is present, then we will remove it, else it will be excess.
You have to anyway remove it. So you don't actually have to do the work. So you have to either check whether the element is present. If the element is not present, then you give the same thing. Otherwise, you have to anyway remove. How do you remove an element from a set? The naivest method possible, without writing explicit code for it. You know enough functions by now, built-in functions.
We can use list comprehension.
Or you can use filter. Filter all the elements not equal to X from X's. Yes. Yes. Filter not equal to X, not filter not X, filter not equal to X. Okay. Rishabh Gupta. Good. Okay, great. What about search? What is the type? EQA implies A arrow,
So bool.
set arrow, set A arrow. Somebody said something.
So bool.
Bool, yes, right. So search of should be what?
Sir, XLMXS.
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. So now you have implementation. Okay. How much time do you think it takes for each of these operations?
Linear time.
For each operation, right? Because for insert, even though when the element is not present, you have to put it in the front. You have to check whether X is an element of X, which in the worst case takes linear time. And delete from, you have to filter out all the non-elements in X is not equal to X. So you have to touch every element. So that is order n. And again, the elim test is worst case order n. So your for n operations, you will take order n squared time. Okay. Can you do better if you do maintain the list as a sorted list, for instance? Anyone?
Sir, if you were to maintain it as a sorted list, wouldn't like adding or removing elements take n log n at best?
How will you add an element to an already sorted list while still maintaining the sort order? Recall your sorting, etc., etc. that we did. We did insertion sort, right? So if you already have a, it's like having a sorted hand, some 30. So you have 10 cards in your hand sorted according to some order. You receive a new card. You don't just add it at the end and then keep sorting, right? You will insert it at the proper position. So you can do that, but it will still take order n time. Is it clear?
Sir?
Yes, yes.
So these three operations are order n time, right?
Right. Each order n time. Yes, yes.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, okay. So even if you maintain these things as a sorted list, provided that the type A allows order comparisons, even then it is order n time, because so you might want to let's say ignore these and create new insert into, except now it is RDA implies for delete from you can't do any better. Okay, and for search also you can't do any better, because usual, I mean you can do better, but you can't do any better with Haskell. Okay, you will later see that if you had arrays you could do something else, but insert into is the only thing that you can change. If you already have a sorted list, you want to maintain it still as a sorted list, and this is the same old code that we did earlier. Insert into X of set, empty set. So insert into X set X's equals go X axis. Say where go X empty list equals empty list. Go X Y colon Y is if X is, remember Y colon Y is already sorted. Okay, so if X is less than Y, then you make it X colon Y colon Y. If X is equal to Y, if X is greater than Y, then you say X colon Y colon insert go X Y. Otherwise it means that X is equal to Y, and you don't need to insert anything. Otherwise you just return Y colon Y. Okay, so this is the kind of code you have to write, and this is linear time anyway. Yeah, so I mean, whether you maintain it as a sorted list or a normal list, why is this an error? Set up. Okay, now there's one. Okay, great. So whether you maintain it as a sorted list or as a normal list, you have to pay order n n time for each of these operations. So let's get back to the slides. This is the original thing that I gave. So search takes order n time, insert into all these take order n time. So sequence of n operations will take order n squared time typically. Okay, even if you started out with the empty set and you kept inserting, deleting, whatever, the worst case it will take order n squared time. Okay, unlike with the queue with the two stacks, etc., one operation does not save you time for subsequent operations. Okay, so that is the thing. Okay, so but still we can do better if elements admit an order, and the way is not to look at a sorted list but to look at a version of binary trees, okay, called binary search trees. Okay, binary search tree is another way of implementing the set ADT. So this binary search tree comes from how you would normally do search over a sorted list. Suppose you want to look up a word in a dictionary. Nowadays you will just, if I want to look up a word in a dictionary, I'll just say define and give the whole name, word name, and it will automatically show the dictionary app. But let us say you are using a physical dictionary and you want to look at a word, then what would you do normally? Anyone?
Match the first letter.
Match the first letter. That is true. That is what you would do in a dictionary. So dictionary was maybe a wrong example, because dictionaries also come with these indices, etc. So A, etc., it will have an index where you can. But suppose you don't have anything. Suppose you don't have any index or anything like that. Typically, you will just open it to the middle of the dictionary. Look at whether you have overshot or you're much below. Again, dictionary is a bad example, because if you want to search for a letter A, you will not go to the middle. You will just go to the beginning. But I don't know. Suppose you want to search for your suppose you're given some arbitrary list and you want to search for an element in the list. Okay, so I mean, this is getting worse and worse, because I mean, no list is arbitrary. What typical examples, even if it's a list of numbers, you will match the first digit, etc. But assuming that you don't have any information about the data, if you want to search, one way of searching is to go to the middle. See if the middle element is greater than or less than the element you are searching for. What will you do if it is equal to? You say yes, aha, my element is in the list. What if it is? What if the middle element is greater than your element you are searching for? What will you do?
It is arbitrary, right? So how do we know that whether to go to right or left?
The list is sorted. Okay, the list is sorted. Suppose you go to the middle element and the middle element turns out to be greater than the element you are seeking. Then there is one thing at least you can say for certain. What is the one thing you can say for certain?
So we will go previous to it.
Why do you go previous to it? Because the element certainly does not lie after this middle element. Why? Because the middle element itself is greater than your element that you are seeking, and the list is sorted. So elements that come after the middle element will definitely be larger than the element you are seeking. Okay. So basically what you have done is you have eliminated half the list from your search. Then the left half, how do you search for your element now? You will again go to the middle. Okay. Now let us say that the middle, this is, remember, the middle of the left half. Now this middle is greater than your, so less than the thing that you are searching for, let us say. Now you will eliminate the left portion and then you will be left with one more of this thing. You will go to the middle there. So you will recursively do this. So this is called, this strategy of general searching over a sorted data collection is called binary search. Okay. But it's a little difficult to do in Haskell, because Haskell, if you want to travel to the nth element, you have to anyway traverse from element 1, then element 2, element 3, all the way till element 10. Okay. So you're not saving much here. But if you're using an array, you can save time, because array indexing is just order one time. Okay. So this kind of strategy is called binary search. And binary search trees really represent your binary search. The kind of which elements you hit upon along the way, that is sort of your tree is organized in that way. Okay. Okay, as you will see. But that is why it is called binary search tree. But the definition is really simple. It's you don't need to refer to binary search, etc., etc. It's straightforward. So a binary search tree stores values of type A such that the type A admits order. Okay, A belongs to the type class order. So in a binary search tree, you want to maintain this property at all times, that the values in the left subtree are smaller than the root. The values in the right subtree are larger than the root. Okay, important. You always maintain this. Okay, good. So, okay. So binary search tree is just like your B trees that you had earlier, except we'll call it BST because they are binary search trees. Okay. So pictorially you have this, that everything in TL is less than X, everything in TR is greater than X. Okay. So here are examples. So just check that this is a binary tree. 3 is there in the root. To the left is 1, 2. To the right is 4, 5, 6. Now go to the right. 5 is there. To the left is 4. To the right is 6. Here 1 is there. To the right is 2. Here is another binary tree, binary search tree. 4 is there in the root. To the left is 1, 2, 3. To the right is 5, 6. And again, you can check 2 to the left is 1. To the right is 3. 6 to the left is 5. This is a non-example. Why? Why is this a non-example? This particular thing?
It is not sorted in that way.
Once more.
So it is, I mean, 4 is before 3, so
Exactly. 4 is lying to the left in the left subtree of 3, but 4 is greater than 3. Okay. So it violates the thing. Why is this not a binary search tree?
1 is in the left of 0.
1 is to the left of 0. That is why. Right. So the right half is fine. 4, 3, 5 is fine. 2 to the left of 2 is 0, and that's also fine. To the right of 2 is 4, 3, 4, 5, that's also fine. But 1 is to the left of 0. That's a problem. So instead, if you put 1 to the right of 0, that would be fine. Okay. Okay, great. So now binary search trees, you represent them exactly like with B trees, except we'll be calling it binary BST to denote binary search trees. Okay. So let us try to add this code and okay, like 26.x6 or something. I have a BST where I have copied over some old junk which I might not need. So I need to export a bunch of stuff. I'll come to that in a bit. So for now, I don't need all this. No, I need that. I do not need these two things. Okay, so wherever I called it B tree, I'll call it BST. And all these functions, size, level, height, etc., we can write exactly as in B trees, but we'll ignore all that. Okay, we don't need all this. So these are all some things that we wrote earlier. Ignore all this. So the nice thing is that there is a nice thing that you can do with create tree. We have this create tree. In fact, we have seen the more efficient version of create tree, right? So I'll install that instead of this. It's from list as I've called it. Okay. Okay. So except I should call it BST. There is rather a nice thing that happens with this from list, which I'll show you in a minute. Because I want to be working with these BSTs and do more stuff. So all this in order, post order, pre-order, etc. is just the same as earlier. So in fact, I'll only need in order, as you will see. So I'll call it to list. Okay, and I'll delete the other stuff. Okay. Yeah. This is done. So, okay, so there is a bit of an assumption here. So to list is fine. So you will see to list, I'm taking a BST and going there. From list, I'm saying I'll take a list and do a BST, and I'm doing the same thing that I did earlier. There is no guarantee that this will be a binary search tree always. But you will see that there is a nice thing. If your list is sorted, I'll write it up there. If L is sorted and has no duplicates, then from list L is indeed a BST. Indeed, a BST means that the root, every element in the left subtree will be less than the root, every element in the right subtree will be greater than the root. Now, final thing is to do this show nonsense. It's not nonsense, but it's this thing. So, so even in the earlier lecture that I've uploaded on Moodle, I have this version of show which I worked very hard to come up with the last at some point of time in the past. So it's a little hard to explain in the class. I mean, it will take time. So I'm just leaving it for you to appreciate what is happening there, okay, by looking at the code. But yeah, there's nothing much to worry about. So this rand list will also be an error. So I'll eliminate all these. If I want later, I will start. Okay. So okay, that's done. And final thing I need to do is change the type here. Okay, great. So everything is done. It shows 0 errors now. Okay, I hope you're able to see it. So this code I will not bother to explain. Okay, so but I have uploaded it. You can read it and appreciate it. Okay, but I will show you what it does. Okay, so let me open a new terminal. Push this up. Okay, great. So now we are all set. Okay, awesome. So let's okay, so we are here. Let me start GHCI. Let me load bst.ls. Okay, very well. So if I do something like toList of 0.14, this is 15 elements. Okay. No, from list. Okay, great. So this is the this is the improvement. Now you will actually be able to. I don't need to draw pictures now. I can show whatever I want to illustrate using pictures like this. By the way, is the font size and all okay, or do you want me to increase it a little bit? Are you able to read it? Everyone is comfortable with this? Somebody
Yes,
has a question, please tell me. So now notice that it is a so my original list was sorted and this is a binary search tree. The root has 7. To the left is 3, 1, 5, 0, 2, 4, 6. Okay, they are all smaller than 7. To the right is 11, 9, 13, 8, 10, 12, 14. So they are all greater than 7. Okay, and recursively the same thing holds. 3 is here. To the left is 1, 0, 2. To the right is 5, 4, 6. 1 is here. To the left is 0. To the right is 2. 5 is here. To the left is 4. To the right is 6. So this is the nice thing. If you do your usual create tree thing from our earlier lectures, and if you feed it a sorted list, with no duplicates, you will definitely get a minus ST. Okay, but it need not. But if I want to do some random testing, etc., I won't get a sorted list. I will, if I want to start with some arbitrary tree of size 32 or some such, let us say, then what I can do is I can create a random integer list, sort it, remove duplicates, and then create a tree from it. Okay, so this is something that I can do. Okay, so I can call that rand. So okay, so at this point I need to import. I'll just use the simple random or IO version. The other versions of doing random are much more difficult. Let's say I want create random tree, random tree, rand BST. Okay, this will take an integer which tells you the size that you desire, and an integer that gives you an upper bound of the elements that are present in the tree, and then as a result you will get BST. Okay, so how do you implement this? Rand int BST, I should say, but it's okay. Rand BST equals do. First I should do list. No, so rand BST of size and upper bound. Okay, so list is replicate m of size of 0u and then that's it. So I should just give it to be of type IO distinct. The whole thing is of type IO distinct. Replicate m I need to introduce. Control.monad. Still it is being another. Now from list of remove duplicates of sort of okay, so which means now I should import the sort routine from data.list. I'll also import something called nub, which will remove duplicates. Okay, I'll just do that. I shouldn't be doing it though. I'll just. Okay, what is remove duplicates? Let's just write it. Remove duplicates on a sorted list. Right? So at least EQ you need. Okay, let's go. This is some simple thing. We have already seen it in some assignments. What is remove duplicates in an empty list? Empty list. Remove duplicates in a singleton list. Singleton list. Remove duplicates of x colon y colon y. This is the important thing. If x equal to y, then what do you do?
Y colon y is.
Yes, just not y colon y is remove duplicate of y colon y. Because y colon y might have duplicates. Otherwise x followed by remove duplicates of y colon y. This is linear time, okay? Because I know that the moment x is not equal to y, I know that X cannot occur later. Why? If X is not equal to Y, then X cannot occur in Y's.
Because the list is sorted.
Because the list is sorted, yes. So you need to add a condition saying works only when the list is sorted. Okay, but I am applying it only after sorting, so it's fine. So now what is the error? Okay. Replicate M size. Read random RAO. Yes. And I should also here say that I want a just give me a second, okay? So working earlier and not working. Just a second, okay? So, okay, great. Okay, use. Oh, okay. So, okay. Okay, great. Okay, done.
Sir,
Yes, yes.
sir, I don't see how remove duplicate works even if the list is sorted, because it's like if X is greater than Y, it can still be duplicated. Like,
No. But you, what is X? X is not a random element, no? X is from X colon Y colon Y. And X colon Y colon Y itself is sorted.
oh yes, sir. Yes, no, yes, sir.
Yeah, right. Good question. That is the answer. Okay, great. Okay, so you've done something. I mean, so you have done this thing, and then you're doing this. So I can always go and here, if I want in GHC, let me reload the thing. I can say, have I saved the thing properly? Okay. Now I can actually do things like oh, I have to give a length. Okay. I have to give a number of elements and upper bound. So rand BST number of elements is 31, upper bound is 100. Let's say. Yeah, I'll get it. This is nice. Do you see? Do you see that it is sorted? And it is also balanced. That is a nice thing. Okay. And there are a few elements missing because we removed duplicates. Therefore, but do you see the idea? I do the same create from listing on a sorted duplicateless list, and I will get a binary search tree. So here 64, to the left, you will see that there are elements 29, 18, 45, 14, 27, 32, 59, 11, 17, 22, 30, 36. All are less than 64. To the right, all are greater than 64. Okay. And okay, great. So now you have random trees that you can call upon at any point of time. You can give a size and the upper bound on the size of the elements. Okay. This is the size of the tree, the maximum size of the tree, and that is the maximum number of elements. Okay. Starting from 0. Is this fine? Yeah, modulo the code to draw the thing. All the other code is things that you're familiar with, right? I'm just creating a random list, sorting it, removing duplicates, and then creating a tree from a list. And once I have a tree from a list, I can actually say let tree1 equals it. Okay, that will actually, so now I can always invoke it as tree1, and I can do things with tree1. Okay, good. So now, first operation that I'm interested in. Okay, let me get back to the slides. Okay, so yeah, so you can create an empty tree, empty binary search tree like this. You can check whether a tree is empty by doing this. Let's install all these definitions. Okay. I also have a way to generate a random binary search tree. That also I have. So I can, so while I do this, I can actually start exporting stuff. BST, which is the type constructor, not the value constructors. The value constructors are node and nil. So you don't want that. BST is one. Then I want to actually say insert, delete, search. Okay. Empty, which will create an empty BST, and is empty, which will check whether something is empty. And then I can also have rand BST. Okay. Which will give me a random binary search if you want. Okay. And what else? Yeah, from list to list. But from list is not to be used unless the list is sorted. So that's a little this thing. To list is safe. So that's fine. So, okay, great. So now one of the first questions that you will have to encounter is, yeah, we need to define all this. That's why there are all these errors. One of the first, okay, so let us install these definitions, empty and what is the definition here? What is empty? Can someone tell?
Null of A.
Nil. Okay, nil is the value constructor. Is empty. It's of type BSTA arrow bool. Is empty of nil is true. Is empty of anything else is false. Okay, great. Now we need to okay, so here is something. Just because some value is of type BST does not guarantee that it is actually a binary search tree, that it actually satisfies the properties. For instance, I can do so let me remove these things because it will keep giving an error. I'll add the thing in the module declaration once I have defined those things. Okay. So let me redo this thing. So just because something is of type BSTA does not guarantee that it should actually be a binary search tree. Okay. Suppose I do from list of 2019.0. Yes, I have this. Is this a binary search tree? Can somebody answer?
No.
No, because I mean you have 10 here and you have 20 to its left, for instance. Okay. Various violations. You have 0 to its right, etc. So one thing you want to do is you want to check whether something is a binary tree or not, binary search tree or not. How do you check that?
So define a function.
Yeah, define a function. Yes, I want to define a function. Is BST, I'll call it. It's of type BSTA arrow bool. It will be true exactly when is BST of nil is of course true. Is BST of node TLXTR. What is it that you want to check now?
SBST-TL, SBST-TR.
And
Sir, with X, we have to compare.
So tool is
every element in TL should be less than X. Okay. So you have to somehow compare every element of TL with X. Instead, you can do something simple, which is
take the maximum element.
take the maximum of TL. Okay. Max in tree, max T of TL is less than X, and X is less than min T of TR. Right? So this is what you want. What is max T now?
max of tool list.
But now there is one more thing. The max of the tree is fine, but what if the tree is nil? Okay, you cannot really do anything. No. So this condition, instead of checking for max T of TL equal is less than X, you should check ismt TL or max of TL is less than X. And similarly, ismt_tr or X is less than min of T. Is this clear now? Now max T and min T are defined only for, I mean, they are required only for this thing. So defined only for non-empty trees. Okay. So A. Now this has to be of type order. So order.
Do we define max T and min T for binary search trees only?
Yeah.
Or I mean, they are in general.
I know, but I'm only talking about BST data types. They are in general for any ordered tree. Yes, you can define it, but here this is what we're doing. No. See, this is the point. The BST, some tree will belong to type BST, but it is not necessarily a binary search tree. You see?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Though there is one thing, you have recursively determined that both TL and TR are binary search trees. Okay. So you can actually do it a little simpler then. Now you know, for by the time you come to this max T calculation, you know that TL is a BST. So you can use that fact. So then how do you use that fact? Max T of nil is error.
So rightmost element.
Rightmost element. Yes. How do you get to the rightmost element? Nil not defined for nil terms. Yeah. Now max T of node TL XTR, you know for sure that the maximum element won't lie in TL because everything in TL is less than X. Okay.
We can write max T of TR.
Provided TR is non-empty. Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Again. Okay. So you should basically
do
say,
TLX nil.
yeah, if TLX nil is X. Yes, max T of TL. I mean, in fact, the left-hand side thing can be anything. You don't care. And in fact, the X can be anything because TR is non-empty. That's all you care about. Equals max T of TR. Okay, great.
It's a node.
Max node, I should. Okay, great. But still there is an error because min T is not defined. Min T is defined similarly. Okay. Here, instead of that, you should say if the left thing is nil, then X is minimum. So if thing is not minimum, then you go and find min t of TL. Okay, great. You've done this. Okay, very nice. Good. How much time do you think it takes? Why does it give an error on maths TL as well?
So won't A have to be ordered in the
Yeah,
definition
yeah,
of
yeah.
this?
Here I should do that. Yes. Okay, great. Now it's fine. Okay, very nice. So how much time do you think this will take? So now if I go and if I do this and if I do that and if I ask is BST, it will tell me false. Okay, great. On the other hand, if I do from list of is BST of it will say true. Okay, as we expect. What is from list of 0.50? Let's check that. Something like this. Okay. Of course, this kind of thing will not work for where the size of your tree is beyond, I don't know, beyond 40 or 50 or whatever. Because after that, it will go over the page and it will start breaking lines, etc. etc. Okay. So make your window to maximum. Keep your font size to some minimum thing. Then you can actually do this visually nice representation of text. Okay, good. Okay. How much time do you think is BST will take?
Sir, I'm not sure, but I think it might be linear.
It might be worse actually, because so first of all, it is not even clear how much time max t and min t will take, because even though I am going to the rightmost node and the leftmost leaf, etc., my tree could be skewed. You see, I could have 0 at the root, 1 to its right, 2 to its right, 3 to its right, etc. So I'll have to touch n elements. Okay, right. So you said linear, right?
Yes, sir, but I'm not sure.
So
Yeah,
for
for computing math, but you have to do this recursively every time, you see. Therefore, it is like order n log n or some such.
So it will be n squared probably for
N
a
squared,
balance.
yeah, right. So because it is 2 times t, it's not even clear, you see. It's not clear that TL and TR are of size half the original tree. That is the real problem. It could be n minus 1 for all you know. Okay, so the best recurrence you can put is Tn equals 2 times t. It won't be 2 times Tn minus 1, because if TL is n minus 1, TR will be 1 or some such. So that is the worst case really. So T of n equals T of n minus 1 plus 1 plus order n or some such. Okay, because for all this max t, etc., you'll need order n. So if you take the worst case scenario, T of n equals T of n minus 1 plus order n, which will end up being n squared. Okay.
Even for a balanced tree, it should be n squared, I think.
So
even for a balanced tree, it should be n squared.
Why?
So because order n to check if the nodes are, if the left node in, like it will recursively check for each node. And for each node, it has to take
if
up
it is
the
balanced, then it is fine, no? Because you are doing the amount of work you do is 2 into t n by 2 for these two recursive calls. And here you are just going down one path. If it is balanced and if the tree has n elements, then the height will be log n. Okay, that you can sit and prove. So it will be log n plus log n. Okay, so it is still 2 tn by 2 plus order n, which is order n log.
Sir.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't understand why it's order n square. I got disconnected.
Okay. So your tree could be skewed. Okay, in the sense that you will have 0 at the root, 1 to its right, 2 to its right, etc. In which case, when you want to check whether it is a balanced tree, then the left tree will be empty. The right tree will be all elements but 1. So the amount of work you do for Tn is Tn minus 1. Okay, plus, and you have to do something about whether the thing is greater than maximum, etc. You have to again compute the maximum. That will take order n time. So the recurrence will be T of n equals T of n minus 1 plus order n.
Okay.
That will be n squared. Okay. But where I am leading to is that there is a much better way of doing this is BST, which is to check, which is to take the, so this is the nice thing. If you start with a BST and do two lists, what can you say about the list? Remember, the list puts the root in the middle. It puts everything in the left subtree on the left and everything on the right subtree on the right. So if your original thing is a BST, then what can you say about the list after you do two?
They will also be BST.
There will be BST. That's a list, no?
Sir, I mean, if we
It will be
generate,
sorted, exactly. It will be sorted. And if your original thing is not a BST, the list will not be sorted. Okay. So to check whether something is a BST or not, it suffices to just do this two list and check if the list is sorted. And checking whether the list is sorted is very easy. Yeah. So how do you check whether a list is sorted? Is sorted.
Sort x equal to x.
What?
Sort of list equal to list itself.
It's already, I just want to check. You don't want to sort the list. You are given a list and you want to check whether it is sorted or not.
So empty is sorted, single element is sorted, and
exactly. And then for the other things, you just do the usual. Okay, great. Who suggested this?
So Shubh.
Can you complete the code? Is sorted empty is true.
Is sorted of single element is true.
Yes.
Is sorted of x is to y is to xs.
X colon y colon.
X colon y colon xs.
Y. If x is less than or equal to y.
So it will be less than y now for a BST.
I know, but it's okay.
Yeah. Less than equal to y. Then it's true and okay. Is sorted on enough.
You want to check if y
otherwise it's false.
Otherwise it's false.
False.
This takes order n time. Okay. You're doing a pass from left to right. The moment you see any two elements out of order, you just say no. Okay. Two adjacent elements out of order. And that will always happen. The list is not sorted. You can always find two adjacent elements that are not in order. Okay. Great. So now another way of writing is BST rather than doing all these work that we did is to
so we convert it to a list and then check whether it is sorted or not.
That's all. So is BST ORed A implies BST A. Okay, great. So we have done all this. So good. Now you can actually says true. Fine, good, great. So now let's come to the main elements of main ingredients of the main operations on a BST. I want to search for an element in a BST. So for this, let me again go to the random list that we created. No, rand BST that I said of size, I don't know, 40 with upper bound of elements 100. So this is some random BST. I want to check if the number I don't know 82 is in the list. How would you check? Remember that you can visually look and check, but you want a systematic check. So you have the root. So your list is of the form node TL X TR. Go. I want to check whether 82 is in the list or not. How would you check?
So you check if it's bigger than the root and then
you check whether it is
like bigger or smaller than the root.
Yeah, so it is bigger than 47 in this case. So what do you do now?
Go to the right and then
go to the right. It is bigger than 77. So go to the right again. It is smaller than 97. So go to the left. It is smaller than 92. Go to the left. It is smaller than 86, but then 86 is a leaf. At that point, you stop and say it is not there. Is it clear? Let us search for another element, 35, let us say. So 35 is smaller than 47, so you go to the left. It's bigger than 23, so you go to the right. Smaller than 39, so you go to the left. It's bigger than 34, so you go to the right. It's smaller than 38, but there is nothing to the left of 38, so you say that it is not there. Let us search for an element that is in the list, 30, let us say. So from 47, you go to 23. It's greater, so you go to 39. It's 30 is smaller than 39, so you go 34. 30 is smaller than 34, so you go left 32. 30 is smaller than 32, you go here. You find that that is the thing. Okay, it is clear, right? How to search for an element. So let us just translate it into Haskell code. Okay, that is why I did all the hard work of doing this, printing the trees in a nice form. The alternative was to use my iPad and then draw stuff, which might have been easy, but then I have to switch between code and that, and somehow it's easier for me to just work with my Mac for the code. Okay, so anyway, so let us, the next operation I want to do is search. Can Srimati, can you tell me what the type signature should be?
So take A and then DSP A and gives bool.
So be confident. It returns a bool, yes. Okay, search for a value in a tree. So search for a value in nil. What should this be?
False.
Search for your value v in node TLXTR. Okay. Now, what are the cases that you need to check for? The nice case is if v that we'll come to later. If v is less than x, then I know that the element lies in TL. So I should do
search
for v in TL.
Yeah.
If v is greater than x, then I know that the element lies in TR. So search for, if at all it lies, it will lie in TR. So search for v in TR. Otherwise, this means that v is equal to x.
So true.
Return true. That's it. Great. Okay. Okay. Awesome. So let me. Okay. And at this point, now I've written a code for search, so I can export that also. Okay. I'll do all this. I'll reload. Compile. I can do rand. So some random tree here. Which element do you want to search for? Let me call it let tree equals let my BST equal it. Okay, that is the same tree. Okay, so search for. Oh, you want to know what? Which element do you want to search for? 60. Let's search for. True. Search for something 77, let's say. False. This is fine. Or some element in the middle, need not have 74, let us say. Yes, it says. Okay. It has gone right, gone left, and it has moved 74 and it says. Okay, great, very nice. Okay, so that's it for search. Okay, this is the Haskell code. The worst case running time is the height of the tree because it goes to the right, to the left, to the right, to the left, all the way to the leaf. And it could be unlucky and end up taking a maximum path of maximum length. So worst case is height of the tree. If you maintain the tree to be balanced, then the height is always log of the number of nodes in the tree. It is a very nice data structure to actually take a, maintain a balanced binary search tree always, but unfortunately, and I should apologize for it, for taking longer on some lectures and missing some classes. We cannot do it now, but don't worry, you will always study it later in an algorithms course. So it doesn't matter. Binary search tree is important, you need to know it. Balancing binary search trees is very nice and very easy to do in Haskell, but yeah, so You will learn it. Don't worry. Okay. But anyway, this operation takes time proportional to height of the tree. Now, how do you insert? Suppose I want to insert 74 is missing, right? Suppose I want to insert 74. Where do you think I should insert? Anybody can answer.
Traversal.
74 is not missing.
Where is 74? 74 is missing, no?
Left of 83.
Oh, 74 is there. Oh, sorry. 77 is missing. So where should 77 go?
So go up to the last step and then put it in left or right accordingly.
Yeah, what do you mean last step? Can you step me through it? Swaminathan, right? You are suggesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
originally I will compare 77 against 63. Okay. What do you do now?
So it'll be greater than 63, so 83, less than 83, so 74, greater than 74.
78. Okay, less than 78, so I'll go here. Greater than 75, but there is nothing here.
Yeah,
But at
so
that
add
point,
an
I can
in.
insert it.
Yeah.
Okay, so 77 will come here. Okay, so let us actually, I am calling this tree my BST now. So let me, oh my God. Okay, I need to save this my BST somewhere so that after I do insert also, I will be able to do this. How do you save?
So we can use some other MyBST later.
I can use some other MyBST, but I mean, I just wanted to show you here itself. So the point is 77 will come here. That is okay. I can always do this thing. To list of
Sir, or you could put it in the program.
Yeah, but I need an IO nonsense, no, because I'm taking random elements, etc. Now I can put it in a program. See, now I can put it. I'll go to the end somewhere. My BST, I'll say one list of yes, good. So now I can do it. This is sorted. There are no duplicates, etc. Okay, great. So I have this. So now let me try to write the code for insert. Insert ord a implies a arrow BST, a arrow BST. Okay, so insert of a value in a binary search tree. If the tree is null, then what will I do?
So node null, v null.
Yes, great, good, very good. So who asked me last class whether I can insert an element in a binary tree? Somebody asked, right?
Sir, Milan, sir.
Milan, yes. So here you are inserting. Okay, I mean you can always insert, but there will be no rhyme or reason to how you insert. Now we want to maintain this binary search tree property, so you are actually doing a better job of it. Okay, great. So if v is equal to, in fact, I'll call it t at. If v is equal to x, no, that I'll do at the end. If v is less than x, then what do you do?
Insert VTL.
Insert VTL, but what about tr and x and whatnot? Those should still be in the tree, right?
So node of insert VTL.
Node of insert VTL x tr. If v is greater than x, then same logic. Node of TL x insert VTR. Otherwise, I don't need to insert anything. I'll just return
Just T.
Exactly. Otherwise, just T. Okay, great. Okay, very nice. So I shall reload. It has compiled. So my BST is this tree. Now I will insert 77 in my BST. Oh, great. So you see, it has gone to the right of 75. But also as it does this, the balance is lost, the height is increased by 1, etc. That is bound to happen. So the point about balancing balanced binary trees is every time this happens, you need to somehow do some rotation, this, that, etc. Rearrange the tree node so that the binary search tree property is still maintained, but there is some kind of balance still remaining. Okay. But anyway, so
it would be easier to like consider the rest and rebuild the BST, then it would be balanced, right? That would take lesser complexity.
No, what?
If we want to maintain the balance, then we'll have to reconstruct the BST.
Don't reconstruct the whole tree, because if you reconstruct the whole tree, then that will take time. Order n square, whatever. Whereas you can actually maintain balance, etc. by just spending order n log n time for every operation. Okay. I mean that is some, it's a complicated algorithm. It cannot be explained in 10 minutes at the very least. Okay. I need a couple of classes for that. And I'm anyway slow in my online teaching than in, you can already see how I lag behind in my slides. But anyway. So I mean, if I have access to independently a thing where I can write code and where I can show this thing. I have an iPad, but then writing code on the iPad sometimes gets a little difficult because some settings I need to figure out on VA, etc. So that is why. Sorry. Anyway, so you want to insert some other element? 63 maybe. 63 is already there. So yeah, we should check that. So BST dot insert 63 it. Yeah, it is the same old tree that is being returned. Okay. Anything else anyone wants to insert? Bijayan, so suggest a number. 44, let us say. Yeah, it is to the left of 46, as you can see. Yeah, here is 46.
Sir, could you insert 76?
Yes, I can insert 76. Yes, I can do that. That will go to the left of 77. Yeah.
Yes, sir, but actually, wouldn't it be preferable to have it like? Oh no, sorry.
No, what were you thinking? It can't go to the left of 75.
No, I just got confused.
Okay, great. So let me just take 15 more minutes, and this is the end of the course. At least I should do one useful thing. I want to delete an element. Okay, this is important. I want to delete an element. Suppose I want to delete something like 76. It is easy, right? Because it's occurring here, I can just chop it off and I'm done with it. Even if I want to delete something like 93, I'm done. So this 93 will go and there will be a star in its place. But what if I want to delete something like 95? I can't just throw it away, no? In fact, I will be throwing it away, but something else should be put in its place. What will I put in the place of 95?
Sir, 86.
86 or 93? What is the logic in putting 86 in place of 95?
So that you change the tree, right? So you maintain order.
But then 92 is coming to the left of 86, right? If you put 86 instead of 95, 92 will occur to its left, 93 will occur to its left. That's a violation. Your idea is correct. So you should put 93 up there. If you put 93 up there, then what do you know? You know that 93 is the maximum element in the left subtree, right? This is the same old logic that we had earlier. The maximum element in the left subtree will be greater than everything else in the left subtree, will be less than everything in the right subtree, because the maximum element in the left subtree is less than the root, which has been now removed, and the root itself was less than everything on the right subtree. So 95 is less than everything that occurs here, these three elements. Sorry, this is 99 and 98. So 93 is also definitely less than those. So 93 can we go there. 93 is definitely greater than all these elements, 86, 92, etc., because it is the maximum node in this subtree. Is the idea clear, Srimati?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
What other choice can you make? Instead of maximum in the left subtree, what else can you do?
Minimum on the right subtree.
Minimum on the right subtree. Yes. What if the left subtree is totally missing?
Minimum on the right subtree.
No, why do you need to work hard? But what is the minimum of the right subtree? Then no, you don't need to actually go minimum of the right subtree. The left subtree is completely missing, then you just put this right subtree itself up there. You pull the right subtree up to this thing. You see, if the so look at this example. So suppose I want to remove 77. Okay, the right here, no, not 77. I should look at. Oh, there is nothing. Here 75. Suppose I want to remove 75. What is the simplest thing to do? Just pull the subtree with 77, etc. up to that level. Okay, so just pull the subtree up and put it in place of 75. You will still maintain everything. Is it clear?
Sir.
Yes.
So what if 93 has more nodes on the left?
In which case are you?
I mean, if you want to replace 95 by 93, but 93 has
what on it? What do you think? 93
has more elements on the left of it.
Good. That is right. So in which case you can't just pull 93 and put it there. No, 93 could have more elements to the left. That is very good. So then what will you do? You will put that left subtree in place of 93. Definitely it won't have a right subtree. 93 won't have a right subtree because 93 is maximum. So in the place wherever 93 was there, if there is something to the left, pull that up and put it in place of 93, and then push this 93 in place of 94. Is the idea clear? So let's write it as code now. Okay, and to be able to write it properly as code, I'll have something called delete max, which will delete the maximum element of a binary search tree and return both the maximum element and the delete and the tree after deletion. Okay, you will see how. So delete max of there is no A. I'm just deleting the maximum. So delete max of nil is actually an error. Okay, so this works only for non-empty search trees because I'm error not defined for empty trees. Okay, so I will do that. So I'll look at non-empty nodes. So TLX nil. So if I come to the case where TLX nil, I know that X is the maximum element, right? In my tree. Yes or no? Everything to the left of X is smaller than X, and there is nothing to the right of X. So then what is the maximum element?
X.
And what is the tree after you delete X?
TL.
TL. That's it. Yeah. Is what? Now you have to go to the right. The right is non-empty. So you have to go to the right and delete the maximum element in that. And there will be a deleted tree. And so what you will have to return is y comma node TLX TY, where y comma TY is delete max of TY. You see, you recursively go to the right, delete the maximum element. You will be returned an element as well as a tree. So that element is what you need to finally return, because the maximum in the whole tree is the maximum of the right subtree. So you return that same y, the y that was here, you return here. But then your overall tree structure doesn't change. So earlier it was TLXTR, now it is TLXTY. Yeah, so now that you have delete max defined, you can now define delete. So delete of v in nil is just nil. Yeah. Delete of v in node TLXTR. If v is smaller than x, then you just say node delete v TL XTR. If v is greater than x, then you say node of delete v node of TL x delete VTR. Okay. Otherwise, this is the crucial case. Otherwise, I am checking if isn't T of TL, then TR. Else, right? Because if the left subtree is empty and you want to delete this node, you just pull the right subtree up to this place. Else, what you want to do is you want to say TY else node TYYTR, where y comma ty equals delete max of tl. Right? You return the maximum element, which is y. You have deleted it, and the deleted part is ty. So you instead of x, you put y. Okay, and instead of tl, you have ty, and it's giving me some suggestions. Redundant bracket, it says. Okay. I don't know why it gives 4 warnings for one redundant bracket. Is the code clear? At least the logic and the code should be clear, right? So we just need to test it. Yes.
So could you explain otherwise, like what you've written at?
Yeah, the otherwise is when v is equal to x, right? V is equal to x. That is the element that you want to remove, and that is the logic we discussed just now. So you will replace. This is the logic where you have some element, let us say 95 that you want to remove. Your v is 95, x is also 95. So just like we said, you will take 93. So delete max of the left subtree will give you what? 93 and then 92, 86. 93 will be the maximum element. So instead of x, which you had earlier, remember that you started out with node TLXTR. Instead of x, you will have y now. TR will be undisturbed. And instead of TL, you will have TY because you have deleted the maximum. If you delete the maximum, it will be 92, 86, not 92, 86, 93. So this 93 will go there. Is it clear?
Yeah.
That is what. Okay. So now let me again do a to list of this. I shall go to the code here. So I'll reload this thing. It's compiled. Delete is there. So my BST, I'll print out this. So which do you want to delete now? 90. Oh, because I did it afresh, it has come out like this. Okay, fine. So now let's try to delete 93 and let's see what happens. Shall we try? Because I did a from list again, it has balanced it. That's okay. Suppose I want to delete 64. That's the simple case. Okay, let me delete 64. So BST delete 64. Do you see? 68 had 64. This thing that is gone totally. Simple. So I can delete 1 if you want me to. Okay. Okay, this is done. So now I'll say my BST. Okay, so that is my tree. Okay, so now which element do you want to delete? Anyone? Shall we try 82?
So 63.
63 you want to delete. Oh, great. Okay, let's first try 82 and then we'll try 63. Okay, 63 itself I'll try. What is that? bst.delete 63. What do you think will happen? The 60 will go all the way to the top. That's it. Okay. Yes. So instead of 60, there is a hole now. And the 60 has gone all the way to the top. Is it clear? And now if I try to write, now if I delete 60, what do you think should happen? What do you think should go up there? 58 will go up there. Okay, you will see that some change will happen here. Where 58 was earlier, there will now be 54. Let's check that. Okay. So delete 60. Okay. So what should happen is that this 58 should go up there. And instead of this 58, that 54 will be there. And both nodes will be stars. So they will both be removed from your consideration. Okay. Shall we try it? Yes. You see the difference between this and that? This 58 has gone up here. This 54 has gone up here. And it is, both children are empty. So it's fine. It will just stay as it is. Okay. Now what do you want to delete? Anyone? Srimati, want any suggestion? What to delete?
99.
99. 99 is simple, no? It is
Okay, 8 or something. Yeah.
Okay, 99 I have deleted. So you want to delete 93? Let's try that. Okay, so here was 93. Instead, now it's 92. This 92 which was here has gone up there, and instead of 92, the resistor. Now, if I want to delete, I don't know, 92, then 86 will go in its place, and 83 will come in the place of 86. Okay. Yes, this is it. Okay, great. Okay, so this is how you do. So now, if you want to search, so all these operations, search, delete, etc., is proportional to order of the height of the tree. So if you can somehow maintain height of the tree to be log n, your operations will all be n log. Each operation, insert, search, delete will be log n. But I mean, how do you maintain that is a question. So which I'm sorry that I'm not able to do it in this year. I can upload the slides though. You can just take a look and appreciate what is happening. Okay. And I had promised to upload some model question paper. I think I'll just upload last year's paper, which will force me to come up with newer questions. So that's fine. I'll upload the thing at least so you'll know what to expect. Okay. Okay. Anything else you would like to ask? So I think on that note, I will end the course. So you in previous editions, I would end with some Sudoku program, etc. But unfortunately I cannot do it this time. If you want, I can upload all those files. Anyway, you can take a look at so on at your free time, maybe after your exams and so on. Okay. So, and if enough of you are interested more in Haskell, maybe after a year, after you've done some more this thing, you can all come and ask me. I can do some advanced Haskell course where we'll do some more concepts and so on and so forth, just for fun. Okay. There are lots of fun aspects of Haskell, both in terms of writing new algorithms and in terms of just the Haskell part itself, which we can explore, but give it a year. So you will, by the time you would have done algorithms, this, that, etc. So then you can come and ask me, and I'm always willing to do more Haskell. Okay. I hope you enjoyed the course. So unfortunately, I didn't give too many exercises, and nor did I give you feedback on the exercises that you've already done. I promise to give you at least some feedback about that before the exam. Okay. So at least you know where you stand. So I'll give you the model paper. Don't be worried or anything. It will be reasonably straightforward. It won't be very difficult or research. Okay. Okay. So that's all I have to say. Anything you want to ask, you can ask.
Also, just a general question about NSAM. Like, will you be expected to like program, like code and all?
No, I will not ask you to code and compile, etc., etc. But I mean, if I ask you for I'll ask you for small code snippets. I would expect you to conform to syntax as much as possible, but I will not be running it through a compiler, and I won't be docking you marks if you missed a semicolon here or there. Okay. Is that reasonable?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, but if you, yeah, but I mean, but at least parentheses, etc., you should put correctly, because I mean those things are useful, important in Haskell. But yeah, I won't be it should be reasonably correct. That's all. Okay. Okay.
Sir, if we want, can we use the compiler and then paste the solution?
Yeah, you want, you can. Yes, sure. If you want, you can do it. Yes, sure. Whether you will, if you have enough time to do that, yes, good, well and good. Yes, please go ahead and do it. Yes.
Also, sir, we can refer to the slides, notes, and other online resources.
Yeah, please, you can do whatever you want. Yeah,
Okay.
I will try to just, yeah, right. I mean, there is, I cannot anyway enforce all this. If I put some stupid restriction which is not enforceable, then the mistake is mine. So, yeah. So, and for the exam, I'll have a Zoom. I'll get a Zoom license and I will be available on Zoom in case you have any doubts or questions that you want to ask. But I won't insist that you should be on camera while you write, etc., etc. I mean, with so many students, I can't enforce anything anyway. Yeah. So that is the thing. So I'll trust that you see. I'm being very reasonable. I don't try to make it extra hard for you. My main aim is that you should learn. You should also treat it that way. Okay. That if you try to cut corners, then you are not learning anything. You're not doing anybody any favors. So just keep that in mind. Otherwise, I mean, yeah, just yeah. Otherwise, there is no tension or any such. Yeah, you can use any valid resources that you can. Just don't go search on the internet or whatever for something precisely that I ask you. If I ask you something, you can refer to the slides. Okay. And yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to ask? Any final remark that you want to give?
The Sudoku code and slides, they sounded interesting, sir. It would be nice if you could upload them sometime.
The extra things, the balanced trees, the Sudoku, I'll upload all those things. Yes, sure.
Okay, that'd be very nice, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, sure, I'll upload those. Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay. So yeah, I hope I've at least created some interest in Haskell for you. If you're interested, please don't give up on it. Keep at it. You'll later learn more languages as CMI, and you'll see that they are not as pretty as Haskell. Python, whatever you learn, and Haskell is very pretty. And there are lots of other nice things which we have not touched at all. But it's okay. I mean, this is meant to be an introductory programming course. If you're interested, we can always do another course for a small subset of very interested people. Okay. Maybe after a year or so. So give it a year or so. Yeah, later. Okay. Great then. Okay. See you. Yeah. All
Thank
the
you
best.
for the course, sir.
All the best. So,
Yeah, thank you so much for the
sir.
course.
see you
Yeah.
next week.
Thank you,
I'll try
sir.
to upload whatever material I've promised before that. Okay. And yeah, we'll have a Zoom meeting open on 30th, right? At 2 or whatever the exam is at. Okay. Okay. See you then. Yeah. Yes. All the best. Okay. Bye bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Sure. Yes.